Let's find out how much it's going to cost to take the coolest jet owned by the biggest rock star that sat in the desert for 40 years and turn it into a tour bus. I paid $234,000 on Elvis's birthday, January 8th, at Mecum Auction to buy this jewel. This Lockheed Jetstar had been abandoned in Roswell, New Mexico for over 40 years. When I plugged the power into it, miraculously, everything turned on, even the microwave. Unfortunately, it would never fly again. So what can I do with this amazing piece of history to bring it back to life and share it with all of you? If the airplane can't fly, maybe we can get it to drive. I think this is going to work because the regulations say that it has to be less than 8'6" wide. Bam, 7 feet, check. 13 foot, 6 inches high. Bam, we're just barely over 9 feet. And even when you add in the extra foot up we gotta go, that's only 10.5 feet. So we've still got 2 more feet to go. It's gotta be less than 45 feet in length. Add up 24 and 19 is 43. We still got another 6 inches than that. So we got another 2 feet whoop, that we can go. So we have plenty of length as well. But Jimmy, why don't you make it a static display? They said, well, because I want as many people as possible to have this Elvis experience. The only way to do that is to make it mobile. Now, Jimmy, why don't you just put it on a trailer? And I would say to you, that's far too easy, way too easy for Elvis worthy and for Jimmy's World. I mean, how hard could it be? So, Grizzly here, kabam, what's up? We've got our free abandoned RV that turned out not to be a great RV, but a fantastic chassis, and magically it works. Look at this. Gino with his fabulous flamingo showed us that it is possible to put an airplane fuselage on a truck chassis. Now, crazy thing, he actually wanted to use a Jetstar as his original airplane to stick on top. He did it a little differently. He used a truck chassis where the motor was in the front. We're using a bus and RV chassis where the motor is in the back. And I think, frankly, ours is going to be much, much easier to do than his because he wanted his to be a full-on RV. All I want out of this thing is to take that down the road. That's it. It's already got a contained toilet and sink in the back. We're just going to hook up the electricity so all the lights and the stuff work. And everything else is on the chassis part of it, so it should be fairly straightforward in straightforward weird project world. We had to ship it from Roswell, New Mexico, here to Tampa, Florida, and rent this gorgeous space for the last 7 months. All that put together is $31,000. Yeah, it was not cheap getting this thing cut up and transported over. Once we got it to Florida, we had to find a suitable RV. Well, just so happens that Louis gave us a free RV, which I've invested about $10,000 in to get it to this point. So that's the next step, $10,000 for the RV. Estimated about $6,500 to un-RV the RV if you add in the labor and the cost of the dumpsters and the other things. My gut tells me another 50 grand to finish this whole project. And that brings us to a lot. Son of a biscuit! We're estimating I'm gonna be into this thing roughly $331,500 to make this thing an Elvis RV that we can all be proud of. But that's not all, we're not done yet. This amount does not include the tour that we're gonna take it on after it's finished. You know, the 68 Elvis is Back comeback tour, that's what I'm talking about. And yes, we're gonna have it at Oshkosh 2024. Not gonna wanna miss that. It's gonna be an epic party. Doing this project, we were left with a bunch of parts of the airplane that we couldn't use. And along with those parts that we couldn't use, there's lots of companies out there making furniture and decorations and artwork and other things out of old airplane parts and engine parts and stuff. And they do pretty well. And I thought, you know what? We're not using the wings anyway. Let's chop those up. let's make the memorabilia tags like we did. In order to create all of these tags, first Grizzly had to chop it up into small pieces, take it to the water jet place where they cut them out into our shape, and then take them to the laser engraver where they engraved them all, put the serial numbers on it. We made 2,167 of these tags. So far, we're trying to squeak out a few more, but that's where it's at so far. And it cost $29,000 to make all those tags. On the great side of things, we launched these tags on July 4th, Freedom Day. And in the first 30 days, because I'm recording this right about 30 days later, we have sold 297 tags for a grand total of $102,000. Boom! That's fantastic. That's already knocked this down to, we'll just call that 231,000 plus that, so 230 and 30, 260. So we are now down to $260,000 into this, which is still an insane amount of money. But we've got a lot more tags to sell. And I will say, to310.com, go buy yourself the Elvis tag. I sign them all, the letters and the pictures and all that stuff. And we need to sell about 700 more in order to break even and completely pay for this entire project. That's awesome. That is just super fantastic. So that's the number right there. 700 is how many more we need to sell. Let me show you how we're going to attach it. See all these big brackets, and then it goes down to those braces right there. There's a huge honking one right there that comes under to that, which is this big old I-beam, which if you look how nice and thick that sucker is right there. But this is where all of the force lands. So what I think is the simplest, best, easiest solution is for us to come right off of that main support, build a bracket, and connect it, ba-bam, to the frame rail on the RV. I think that seems reasonable. Okay, well now the big question is the front. Because the front's weird. It's not a four-wheeler, it's a three-wheeler. We have this front main gear right here, and if you look, it's got another really big beefy support on both sides there, and another one actually on both sides over there, just like this side. So what I'm thinking is we use the same place up here. Boink, it comes to right in this area right here, and we can build our brackets and our mounts, and the same thing, mount it right to the top of the frame. Not that frame, but you know, that frame. Because this frame is part of the floor that still has to come off. But there is some twist. We're gonna need to create some sort of stiffeners in this chassis, because as we were driving it down the road, yeah, it was all kind of flexing and wobbling and going like this and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to bolt it directly down to this because this is steel, that's aluminum. They do different things at different temperatures and moistures and everything else. And that's round, that's square. So we need to isolate the frame from the airplane. I was thinking one of two ways. Let me know in the comments which one you guys want to do. We're talking airbags like they use on semi-trucks, the cab airbag thing. We can put some of those on there. Or on big machinery, they use these rubber vibration dampener, basically just a rubber mount, and bolt that on there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Put in the comments which one you guys think would be the best way, and how we can strengthen this middle section of the frame so it doesn't twist and bow and do all the funky stuff. We're doing giveaways this month. This one is tag number 1935. That is Elvis's birth year. #1 requested tag of all of them. We're going to be giving it away to somebody who goes on there before the end of August. August 31st is the cutoff. So go buy your tag, your shirt, you know, that kind of a thing. Enter to win this tag number 1935. And this is the other giveaway. This is the actual rotating beacon off of the Elvis jet. I'm going to spruce it up a little bit, clean it up a little bit. We're going to take some of the metal that we're not using, make a box for it, make it nice and pretty, so it can be the coolest freaking man cave office thing you've ever seen in your life. Sign up. August 31st is the deadline to buy your Elvis tags at the current price and to be entered to win one of those two things. The price goes up on August 31st. Get your stuff today and help us knock out those last 700 to break even on this project. Bada bing, bada boom, we also donated the first 100 to charity, and our first person that stepped up to the plate, our RJ Iguana's Everyday Hot Sauce, number 23. And of course, yeah, he chose number 23. His name is gonna go right here. Watch for the bar. There it is. Gotta get that fixed. His name is gonna go right here on this wall so that everybody that comes in this airplane is gonna know that he bought one of the low tags and supporting the charities that Elvis would have loved, that you love, that I love. The only thing left is to put that fuselage on that chassis. Grizzly, you ready to do this? This is gonna be awesome!